we do like a strapless sports bra or something? These things are, we're having a lot of issues.
A lot of issues.
It's like, no! No!
That would be his. That would be the thing that Paul got very, very...
You are living in a dystopian future, okay?
We don't have sports bras! Hello and welcome back to the 157th episode of Good Bad Bad Show. Watch terrible movies, tell you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chiligo, joined once again, and as always, by the other host of this illustrious show, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, we're going back. What was your last movie?
From the past. My last movie was Kill Switch with one Steven Seagal.
He's got C4 sewn up in the chest.
It's not like him to leave out in the open like this.
Nah, he flipping him on, man. He trying to fuck with our heads.
Oh, yeah. So we're going back. This is more traditional Kyle schlock. The late 80s, early 90s dystopian action flick is like peak Kyle movies. And Kyle, this one is peak that movie because it's wild.
That's a policeman's hat. You're no policeman.
Well, maybe I was, cuz.
That's right.
We've got a hero protagonist who is able to kick everybody's ass regardless of the fact that he just was like your 40-year-old divorced dad.
Yeah, 100% big divorced dad energy in this fucking movie the whole time. I was like, this guy recently divorced, out for blood.
Sure, they'll let you two in also. We always need more women.
As what, whores?
They'll find some job for you.
At the time, we have a washed-up actor playing a role that we can just throw into the credits.
Yes.
Adam West.
Yeah. Who's like barely in the movie. He filmed all of his stuff in one day in one room.
And a bunch of impressionable young women that we told this is their chance to get it big.
Yes, absolutely. But no nudity.
No.
This movie keeps it nice and PG. Well, yeah, I would say probably PG. Maybe PG-13, but no nudity.
I would say PG-13 only in regard of theme.
Fair enough. There's a lot of other things. Yeah, we'll get into it. So Kyle, this movie came out in 1989, so late 80s, set in the dystopic year of 1999. I love when that happens.
It's so great.
And our brief setup is that global warming has destroyed the Earth. Also, there are solar flares nonstop.
Which would be great if they used it any more than once.
One time, and then apparently, like, it's like the plot element that is never explained.
It's a shockingly decent idea to have. Okay, so the ozone has like these holes in it. So they literally said it's like like fish stocking.
Until there were so many holes in the ozone layer that it was like a torn up old fish net.
Yeah. It's a cheesecloth. Yeah.
And so you could have this opportunity to have these chase scenes, even.
Yeah, where it's like
where these solar flares are just melting people. Well,
like hitting like certain areas and stuff, and like melting certain, like dodging solar flares and shit.
And you could have something that divides the heroes, and like something that they can't match.
Right.
It's not just them. There's also nature.
Nature is out there, and we get one scene, and all they did was crank the gain on their camera all the way up, just open the iris all the way up for 30 seconds. You know
what it does remind me of though? Of a film that actually, I hate to say this, did it better. After Earth.
Yeah. Wait.
Because they had those deep freeze areas.
I don't remember.
So
this
like
at
you
all.
would have these. So you'd have like these massive chills that hit Earth, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd have these few warm spots that Jaden Smith had to get to in order so he wouldn't freeze.
I do have a vague memory of that now that you mention it.
And so you could have something like that. It gives a sense of urgency.
Right, for sure. It definitely ups the stakes a little bit. And I think they go for that, but then decided it was way too difficult to mess with.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we're going to do it one time.
Bruh.
And then we'll just have people talk about the effects of the solar flares, but not actually see it happening or do anything interesting with it. Also, the first thing you'll notice if you watch this film on YouTube or on Tubi,
the mixing is fucked.
All your music and sound effects will come through both ears, but every single piece of dialogue
for the right only
will only be in the right channel, and it's a nightmare. It makes it very difficult to hear things at some time.
Press guy, this is Travis. Come in.
Come in, Travis. Glad to find you alive today.
I actually legitimately had to take my left ear off to be able to hear the dialogue better because the sound I was like, this is a nightmare.
I will do you all a kindness and keep this in stereo so you can enjoy the horribleness of
Kyle
this.
will fix it for you, but just as a heads up, if you're watching if you want the legit experience.
Oh, I was just gonna have us cut in the horrible audio so you get to experience
there you go.
Like we did.
There you go. I thought you said you were gonna fix it, but never mind.
Hell no. No.
Never mind. It would be very simple to just.
I mean, it would be,
whatever.
But that would take away the. It
would definitely take away the charm.
Yeah.
Hopefully, nobody is missing their right speaker or right headphone,
or deaf in one ear.
Yeah, or otherwise, you're just gonna have to flip. Well, deaf in one ear, you can just flip it around.
I mean, true. You wouldn't know about the other one though. You wouldn't know what's in the other channel though.
It's just the same because the sound effects are in both. The music and sound effects are in both. If you just listen to the right one, you get everything.
Yes, this is officially a dumb analogy that I brought up.
Oh god! Initially, I thought it was just a YouTube rip, but I checked on Tubi, and it is the exact same there. So then we get in, and we're setting up our world, and we're in this like control. I think it's the DEA. They say it's like their control, their headquarters or whatever.
It's some sort. Yeah, they're in a heavily fortified bunker.
Yes, and Adam West is there, and Adam West in this film is
Adam West could not give more or less of a shit.
Yes,
he could not.
absolutely.
He is there because somebody offered him a check for $20,000
or whatever,
and a bunch of scotch. And cigarettes.
Yes, he is also very drunk, or well, I want to say very. He seemed to me at least slightly inebriated during some of his scene.
I can't help you. There's been a solar flare. Everything's fouled up. We're sealing off the bunker.
There's a couple scenes where he just seems so annoyed to even be there.
Yes, absolutely. One in particular, which we'll talk about.
He's looking at the director going, I am Batman, and you're having me do this?
Oh, my goodness. So we're in this headquarters. They get a call, and it's somebody saying they have information on slave traders.
I think I know why it's even worse for Adam West, because this came out in 89, right?
Yeah.
Or at least it was coming out in 89.
Right around
so he
there.
already knew Tim Burton Batman was in production, and he's seen all this go on. He's like, you guys didn't even offer me anything.
No.
Like nothing?
Mm-mm. He's like, I could have played Alfred.
He could have played the mayor.
That's true, yeah. Nope. He gets to be in this movie. Sorry, Adam West.
Instead, they give a goddamn role to Patrick Leahy. I'm not sure if you remember that.
No.
I think he was in the second film.
I haven't seen those movies since I was a little kid, so. But this guy calls and says he has information on slave traders, and Adam West wants to send out the Goon Squad.
Tell him you give him some food, maybe some fresh meat. If his information's correct, I'll send the goon squad.
Yes.
And in walks our main cop guy or whatever, who is the Omega cop, John Travis, wearing cowboy boots and a badass dragon sweatshirt that is very cool. And Adam West seems to hate him,
yes.
like immediately.
They have utter disdain for each other.
Oh, you don't like it? Well, I don't like the way you and your three buddies run around in the city up there as if you owned it.
Yeah, they do not like each other at all.
Strange because John Travis seems to be the only one who plays by the rules.
He really does. Yeah.
Like, compared to the rest of his goon squad.
Yeah, who's in the movie for 5 minutes before they all get murdered.
They very much are the,
They'll like Judge Dredd, just roll in. They all do this. They all do it in the opening scene. They just go in and just cause a shootout. We'll get to them. Yeah, it's nonsense. But he's sitting him out on a mission. They have some witty repartee, and then we get John Travis walking down this hallway, and it freeze frames and says Omega Cop, and he's just standing there. It's like, and I love that it freeze frames again on just your best friend's newly divorced dad. It's this guy. I don't know how else to describe this guy other than that.
He is somebody who is so broken because of other things in his life that this is his desperate attempt at a midlife crisis to be like, I'm still worth something.
Yes, absolutely. But he gathers his goon squad, and they all hop in their sweet jeeps. And meanwhile, he gets a call from, I don't even remember her name, the lady who works on dispatch or whatever. And she's like, "You like oldies?" And then he opens his glove compartment, and she's in love with him. I guess she kissed an envelope, but it's got a cassette tape full of like oldies. It's
All
so
right.
weird, whatever. And also, did you notice her and Adam West, like all of the officials in this like future dystopian DEA all wear bolo ties for
Yes,
some
what
reason?
is that? What is that about?
I like that this movie made the bold prediction that bolo ties are the way of the future, and it's like I don't know if that worked out.
I'm surprised Adam West wasn't like, can we just give something to differentiate me between the other people?
Nope, you just get a boring bolo tie.
Well,
like
can I at
everyone
least
else.
drink this shit on set?
I love too. So he's like, sweet oldies, and they put the cassette in and start to drive, and music plays for like 2 seconds, and then it immediately cuts. And it's just like, oh, okay. I guess I thought we were gonna get like a cool driving montage with the mute. No, not at all. Just like cut. We're moving on. All right. But then they pull up to their location where they're going to do this raid.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's would it be? It's illegal, but it's like there's no law.
It's a
That's the
brothel.
problem.
Yeah, I don't know. They just
it's literally a slave trade.
well, yes, yeah. They
on.
call it a brothel or something like that initially, but yes, they're literally just doing like a human auction.
But
Yes.
you're in this weird dystopian. It's almost like Fallout. Like it's the Fallout universe where you have
Yeah.
like these factions that can like maintain order for their area.
Yeah.
But then you have these.
Some sort of loose government affiliated group who, I guess tries to maintain some amount of order or something. I don't know. Like the world building very poorly done in this compared to say even like Robot Jocks or something. The world building in this is nothing. It's nonsense. This is all a vehicle so we can watch a 45-year-old newly divorced dad run for an hour. Just run around for an hour. That's all this is. So they get there and they're getting ready to go bust in. And he sends in one of the guys, but then immediately they're all just there. He's like, you're going in by yourself. And then like 5 seconds later, the whole team, I thought he said you were going in by himself. I don't know. Maybe he's like an advanced scout, but they're all there. And they're doing this auction and we're introduced to and I think her name is Lena, maybe the blonde.
Yeah.
Something like that. So. I don't remember. The blonde is here and she's being auctioned. And, but they show up just in time and basically just start a shootout.
Yes. And their shotguns are all infinite ammo shotguns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like every single one of them has a shotgun and it has infinite ammo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, nobody ever reloads. Although I will say there's a moment later where what's his name? Our main character, Paul Travis, shoots a revolver and then I guess runs out and just tosses it. And like it's when he's going into the bunker at the end, he like pulls his revolver out, shoots like 5 guys and is like just drops it on the ground and runs in. It's like, oh, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, the rest of the film, they just shoot nonstop. Never reload, never. Yeah, they don't care at all.
Big shootout, big fight starts going.
Crazy fuck off shootout.
His goon squad's slowly getting picked off.
They all just get murdered like nonstop.
There's one dude who's real gun ho who just starts shooting civilians.
Yeah, that was okay. So I had this note here, Kyle, about like I can't tell who they're supposed to be shooting and who.
I know this guy is just killing. Like there's people who are fighting back, shooting at them. Sure. But this one guy who's like the muscle bound dude, just starts popping like women, people who like don't look like they have any weapons.
That's the note I have. I had a note here. I'm like, right around the 12-minute mark, one of these cops just shoots like, I swear, 2 of the women who were being sex trafficked. And I was like, what is happening?
And you thought you were having a bad day.
I was like, what is going on? I can't tell. And I don't know if that was on purpose or what was going on, but it was kind of amazing. But they as you say, there's a big shootout. They're killing lots of people, but they're slowly getting picked off one by one. All of his partners are getting killed. Also, right before the shootout was when I Googled and I looked at who the director of this was. Mm-hmm. Did you look up at that at all?
I know he's notorious for...
He's notorious, but his name is Paul Kiriazi. Mm-hmm. Kiriazi. And this is not the first movie of his that we have done. But it's not something you would expect, I don't think. The other movie of his that we did was Forbidden Power. The superpower fuck cult movie.
That's right.
Yes.
I knew that name seemed familiar.
Yeah. So and that movie, was like 2018 or something. Yeah. So like he's still
making crazy shit.
Still making fucking crazy ass movies. But Paul Kiriazi, wow, incredible. And this very different than Forbidden Power, that's for sure. But Alfred dies. Everybody dies. All the good guys, just everybody dies except our main guy and like a handful of the other bad guys. And now it's just the Omega cop. And he goes running off into the sunset.
His running is very very vertical. He's a very vertical runner.
Yes, absolutely.
That's my best way to put that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give Tom Cruise this praise. He runs in everything,
yes,
but at least he knows how to run.
Oh, he looks great. There's a reason he runs in everything. He looks dynamic running. This guy, not so much. But then this is the solar flare we're talking about. The sky gets really bright, and again, they just crank the exposure all the way up on the shot, and so it's like
everybody's got to book it for cover. Get inside.
Yeah.
Our main villain, Wraith, decides to be a smart idea to look up at the brightness and go, why?
I missed that.
Oh, he totally got burned.
Which one's Wraith? Is he the guy in the black leather?
Yeah, the black leather.
I didn't even realize he was there.
A genius thing to wear in the
desert, in like a super hot post-apocalypse. He's just in like 8 layers of black leather. Yeah, I mean, you got to sacrifice to look cool, Kyle. Sometimes you got to sweat to look cool. But so they all get inside. Our guy he's able to like hide in a barn, and then he gets back to his vehicle, and he calls Adam West, and he's like, "I need backup. We got officers down, blah blah blah." And Adam West is like, "Sorry."
Like, backup. 3 men down. Heavy casualties.
What'd you do? Lose control, Travis?
Screw you, Prescott.
Hey, Paul. Is there a way, like, maybe I have prior commitments or maybe I just need to drink more, but is there any way we could reduce my role for this film? Yeah, we can just say that there's a solar flare and
solar flare. I can't do anything
for a while.
Yeah. Well, he says everyone could be affected or infected, one of the two.
They keep saying affected.
Yes.
But it's like...
It seems like an infection kind of thing. It's weird. We'll get to it later with the doctor character.
You may have been affected. We can't take any chances.
Affected? What do you mean, affected?
So he's like, but we can't send anybody in because the solar flare could have affected everybody, so you don't have any backup. And our guy's like, all right then, let me get my PVC pipe gun, which is just a gun made out of like 6 PVC tubes that they glued together. And he goes running in. I was like, I cannot wait to see what this does. And he never uses it in the scene. He just carries it and runs in. And then he gets back there, and I guess they're all gone because he just screams at the sky. He's just like, I'm coming after you or something. It's terrible.
Ray! It's not over yet!
It's like, okay.
So our woman who was being auctioned off,
I think it's Lena.
Well, she is now recaptured and being taken back to the compound. However, our hero, one John Travis, intervenes.
Has just stumbled across. And so this there's no connective tissue between the previous scene and this one. He yells at the end of that last shootout scene, and then it cuts, and he is in completely different clothes. Discovered them on the street.
This film, for the most part, takes place over the course of like maybe a day
couple
or 2
days. Yeah, 2 days. Well, because we get a couple nights.
For a guy who was on a special ops mission, who then things go to shit, this guy has a shocking amount of changes of clothes.
Yes, he has so many outfits. It's not like he's a secret agent who needs to like have a bunch of changes of clothes. He's just like a fucking cop. Like it's
more so he's kind of on his own. Yeah, he has no resources or anything.
Yeah, and it's so weird to me because you would think it would be so easy to just get him a bunch of like black,
just the same
tactical,
like 6 or 7 of the same wardrobe,
and just have him wear it the whole time. That way, too, if you need to move scenes around or something, you can. But no, he's in different. I don't think they do, but he's just in different outfits all the time in a way that makes no sense. Like, why did you bring all those clothes with you? What is going on?
Anyways, he gets into a Western style standoff.
Yeah, Old West standoff. He's got his gun on his hip and everything. I was like, all right, let's do it. I'm here for this.
I do enjoy the fact that. Once again, Brian and I don't know guns very well, but I know this is I know for goddamn sure this is a double action revolver.
Because he fans it I don't know for sure that it's double action, but he does fan it. And you can fan a double action, I believe.
It's just meaningless.
It's not necessary, but I think you can do it faster, maybe? I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. But apparently, we find out that, like, these guys seem kind of fucked up, and it seems like the solar flare, like, turns people crazy.
Yes.
Like, we're starting to get a clue. It's not really explained yet, but we're starting to get this clue that, like, the solar flares, like, mess people up and, like, turn them nuts or something. I guess. I don't know. But our main bad guys manage to escape again. And he just kills a bunch of, like, the other random henchmen that are there or whatever.
And one dude's running, trying to get to the fence, and he just takes the stance and the long drawl.
It's great stuff. But then he grabs Lena, and her name is Lena. I looked it up. He grabs Lena, and he's like, "Come with me. I gotta run some errands."
They get in their bitchin' Jeep Renegade.
Hop in their Jeep Renegade, and he cruises over to the local trading post. And he gets to this trading post, and I don't know what he's doing there. Getting food, maybe? He picks up a box of cornflakes at one point. I don't know.
Yum.
But he's sitting there, and he's in this trading post, and there's this young, beautiful woman sitting there, and the trading post operator turns to John Travis and is like, "Take my daughter."
I want you to take my daughter. Find a family that will be good to her, where it'll be safe.
Can you take my young, beautiful daughter and take her up into the mountains? And John Travis is like, no. He says no initially. He's like, no, I don't. Well, and she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And he's like, no, I can't do that or whatever. But then a gigantic gang of raiders shows up and just murders her.
And this is where the gang style's really getting into the Mad Max territory.
Yes.
Like
straight
everyone's
up, like furs and shit. Like it's nonsense.
Everybody's wearing the most insane shit.
Yeah, they just look ridiculous. It's incredible. But they come in. Her dad just immediately gets murdered by this gang. And luckily, though, he pulls out his super gigantic PVC gun and shoots it. It's just a shotgun.
Yeah, it's like one of those volley style muskets almost, because it's just one round per thing, and it's just done.
It just goes. He just shoots it and kills like 6 guys, and then it's like, well, that's it. It's like, I feel like your regular gun was better than whatever. Okay, sure.
See what you get.
And it's the only time in the whole movie he uses it. He uses it in this scene and then tosses it and never to be seen again. And then he just fist fights everyone because there's like 30 of them and he only kills like 5 or 6 with his gun initially. So they get this big long fist fight. And he's able to get away enough where he grabs her and they run off and they're kind of hiding under stuff and whatnot.
Let's get back real quick to this trading post thing.
I
do enjoy the fact that in this dystopian future, where there is no
future?
Dystopian future.
Okay, I thought you said dopian future. I was like, what is the fuck is a dopian future? Yeah.
Where there is no like regulation, there is no oversight, there is no law. Basically, they're still like, that'll be $2 for the thing. It's like
$3.
Oh, that much?
How much you got?
What value does currency have in this future?
They're just like bottle cap. They're just, they're still using the, I don't know. It's, you would think that they would probably just barter instead of, but who knows? There is still some form of government because Omega Cop is some, like the DEA or something.
Yeah, but they'd be like the New California Republic.
Right.
NCR.
Yes, absolutely. But so him and the daughter run off, and they're hiding under trucks and stuff. And then I got this fight scene where right after they get away for a second, and then a bunch more guys find him, and he fist fights them all. I cannot stress. I just want you to put the clips in of this. How unintimidating of a physical presence this man is. He's just kind of like tossing these guys. He's a little bit more adept than like a 70-year-old Steven Seagal.
He's just twisting people. He's rolling over them.
Yeah.
Just doing quick like kicks and hit and punches and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's not intimidating at all.
No, he's really not. And he's all doing it all with his tucked in shirt, like in his dad jeans. It's kind of amazing. But he's able to beat them all up and get away. And they get back to the car where Lena is waiting. And I was like, is this whole movie just going to be John Travis going somewhere collecting a young pretty woman?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That is 100% this movie. It's just this guy collecting young pretty girls.
Also, I love the YouTube description. I'm not sure if you saw the YouTube description of this.
No.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
I did not.
Let me pick this up real quick. It's so good.
I did not see it.
The link I gave you is a space lawman. Ron Marchini rescues galactic beauties from slave traders and gangs of scavengers.
It's like almost right, but not. Ron Marchini.
They are clearly in the fucking 30-mile zone.
Yeah, and what is Ron Marchini the actor?
For John Travis, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought they just got the character's name wrong. And it's not a space whatever.
No, this clearly takes place on Earth.
On Earth, just like in LA. Like it's so stupid. Oh my God. But he gets his slowly growing harem. He gets them back to his locker room. And, I mean, that's how this movie ends, Kyle.
Yes.
Spoilers. But he gets them back and he finds like a baseball locker room, and that's like their hideout, and there's just a skeleton sitting
with a gun. Oh my God, it's
sitting in the locker room, like leaning against the locker. And the one girl's like, well, I'm sleeping here, and it's just gonna like lay down next to the skeleton. It's so weird.
Well, I'm sleeping right here, and if anybody comes near me, they'll wish they hadn't.
Oh my God! But they crash there for the night, and then they the next morning they wake up and he calls Adam West again to get some more information. Adam West, this is the scene where he looks so drunk,
he just doesn't give a shit
at all. He's in an office chair like this. He's literally leaning as far back as he can, and he's just like, I don't fucking
look. John,
you gotta.
I can't let you in. There's
it's fucking
infected or whatever.
Yeah, it's it's incredible. He looks. I was like, that man is intoxicated. That man is intoxicated.
I can't allow that. The greenhouse effect's getting worse. We've got reports of more psychoses.
Adam, you think maybe we can get that one again? No, Paul.
No, we cannot.
We're good.
We absolutely cannot. So then, I guess we were introduced to him earlier, but this is where we really get kind of formally introduced to the big bad, Wraith, who is the guy, again, in all like 8 layers of black leather. Just looks incredible. And his voice in this movie, they must be doing something digitally to it, because he's got this like crazy deep, almost like electronic voice. It's wild.
I want to show everyone who is controlling the city. You're either with us or you're dead.
You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
But he's got this girl there who apparently didn't agree to be a prostitute slave, or I don't know. And he's like, I'm gonna teach her a lesson. And this scene is so stupid because he's our big bad, Kyle, and he grabs a knife from his second in command guy, and he says, now I'm going to show you an example of my justice. And he walks up to her and he cuts a button off of her top. And then he hands the knife to his second in command and walks away.
It says, yeah, now you take
You do it. I'm like, well, you didn't do anything.
Yeah, what?
You just, okay.
And then they start drinking her blood because they're crazy?
He slices her stomach. And she instantly dies. He it seems like a pretty superficial cut, but apparently not. She instantly dies, and they drink her blood.
Shock, clearly.
Apparently, yes. But they get a low ball of her blood and have a toast to it, and they toast to killing Travis.
Yes.
Basically, they're like Travis's blood or something like that.
The second in command loves leading chants.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
he
does it
cheerleader
several times.
In a second life.
Yes, absolutely. He missed his calling by not just being a cheerleader.
Travis's blood. Travis's blood. Travis's blood. Travis's blood. Travis's blood. Travis's blood.
I was halfway expecting him to go, can you dig it?
But they want to kill Travis because he fucked up their operation earlier, I guess, and killed a bunch of their men. So now they're out for Travis's blood. And then we cut to Travis, and he's driving down the street with both of the girls. And he sees walking down the street, and he goes,
"Is that my hat?"
I was like, "What? Is that your hat?"
You're probably not wrong, considering how shittily of a job they did of stitching special police into the hat.
Yes, yeah. They bought a badge and just like glued it to the front of a baseball cap.
What now? I think that guy's got my hat.
But he's like, "Is that my hat?" And then he gets out of the car and chases them for like 5 minutes.
Forever.
He just runs, finally catches up to them. And I thought the whole plan, I was like, okay, as he was chasing them, like, is he actually chasing them just to get his hat? Or is he like, was that like kind of a joke and he's actually trailing them to try to get to like their headquarters or something? No, he just wants his fucking hat back.
Yes.
He gets there.
And by the way, this guy is wearing the hat, has way more charisma than our fucking main villain does.
Way more. But he catches up to him just in the middle of this like parking lot, and he's like, "You got my fucking hat." And then he just beats the shit out of all of them and gets the hat back, puts it on, and then runs back to the car. And I was like, incredible. He literally
Is this where he finds his third?
Yes, because
okay, that's when he's on his way back.
Yes,
right?
he beats up all these guys, and on his way back, he walks past the car that they were in, and he hears some noises, and he pulls a guy out who was assaulting this woman who is sick. She's got some sort of infection. She's running a fever. But he picks her out, grabs her, and I was like, he 100% is just collecting young, beautiful women. That is what the plot of this movie is.
Gotta catch them all.
This is hilarious. This is amazing. But then he takes her. He's like, she's sick. We got to get her. I know a guy, and they take her to this doctor,
right? And
who has a really seemingly well-stocked doctor's environment for this post-apocalypse.
Yes,
it seems fine. And he does explain that the reason how he's been able to survive is he has a secret room where he hides the drugs at night, and he just hides in there with the drugs.
Okay,
it's like, all right, sure, fair enough.
I stay alive by hiding in the room where I keep the drugs. I stay there at night.
But they get there, and the guy's like, "Yeah, she's got an infection. I'll just give her some penicillin, and she'll be fine."
Boom.
She'll be fine.
Nailed it. So Travis is heading off to.
He sees a little kid in his car.
Yes.
He's in the window. He looks out and sees this kid like fucking around in his car.
And stealing shit.
Yeah.
So he's chasing after that kid.
And he chases that kid for like 10 fucking minutes.
He tells all the women to just stay here.
Yeah. He's like, just hang out here.
Take care of it, Doc. I'll be right back.
And the doctor is in the back room. There's a point where they're all.
Yes, this is the best shot. I was so excited for what I thought was going to happen, and it doesn't.
So they are all complaining about the situation where they don't know what's going on and they don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah, they're like, "Well, Travis, he just left us here. What about?" Yeah, they're all upset.
The doctor's in the back room.
Literally just like
pulls out a gun. He is like having a conniption fit. I honestly thought he was so annoyed with these women complaining about stuff that he's like, I gotta fucking end this right
That's what I thought was gonna happen, Kyle. And it would have been the funniest shot in any movie ever because the framing, we're outside in the room with them, and we just see him framed through the doorway, sitting in his desk, and he's got a gun, and I would have lost my shit if while they're talking he just shoots himself in the head and they're all like, "Oh shit." It would have been the funniest fucking thing in the world. God. Holy shit. Unfortunately that does not happen. But our guy chases the kid for like 10 minutes. They just run around a building. It's just like he keeps rounding the corner, and then the kid runs off and he chases him. Eventually he catches up with the kid.
They get to an underpass. I mean,
an underpass that I am not unconvinced was used in the beginning of was it Kill Switch? No. What's the one what was the one from a couple weeks ago where the with Gary Daniels, where the kid is on the dirt bike and there's a big chase? And they get to the underpass and they kill the kid under the underpass. Recoil. I thought this might be the same underpass from the beginning of Recoil. I don't know if you could tell, if you can match up the graffiti, Kyle. The graffiti. Anyways, but yeah, he confronts his kid, and then the kid calls out, and the whole gang's there.
Yeah.
And he's able to beat up a few of them for a few minutes, but they do eventually get him and grab him and take him away. What I was really hoping was going to happen in this scene, though, was he was going to catch up with that kid, and it's framed like something's about to happen. And I was really hoping the kid was going to make a noise or whistle, and then a bunch of little kids were going to come out, and this dude was just going to beat the shit out of like 30 little kids. That would have been, it's like a Lord of the Flies like gang, and he just beats the shit out of all these little kids. That would have been amazing.
You're reminding me of South Park now. You got a free hat, McCoy. Yeah, he killed 13 babies. Well, you can't all let them gang up on you. They'll turn into monsters.
And unprovoked by a gang of babies in Westtown Park. When that many babies get together, they can be like piranha.
Yeah, but then the doctor, in that scene where he's in the background, he yells at them. He like comes out to them and is like, he doesn't shoot himself. He comes out and he's like, "Don't let me become like one of them!" Ah! And they just like run off.
That's after.
No. That's
There's a point where he's like,
yes,
I gotta lay down because I'm not feeling well.
No, yeah. But he comes out here and he yells at the girls. He's like, "Don't let me become like," or he's maybe talking to himself. I don't know.
I'm slowly losing control. I don't want to become like one of them. Get out! Get out!
And then he says, "I'm gonna go lay down. I'm not feeling well." And then the girls leave.
That's what movie is also disjointed at this point.
Yes, it is. But that's what happens here because we're not to the point later where Travis comes back. That happens in a little bit. So he goes to lay down. He's like, "I'm not feeling well. You girls get out of here," or whatever. And at this point, Travis has been caught, and I thought they were going to have to go save him, which is unfortunately not what happens.
No.
He just is able to choke a guy to death with his boots as he's like tied up.
They string him up with chains, almost like out of Lethal Weapon style. Less no electrifying.
He has ropes on his hands because he's able. It's like a noose on his hands basically because he's able to like wiggle out of it, and then he just literally like instantly takes the chains off his feet like they were not remotely locked or anything like that. But he's able to choke this guy to death with his boots and gets away on his own. And then he's got to get out of this compound, and he fights a bunch of guys like out in this like junkyard or whatever where this takes place. And there's this one little moment like when he first gets out, there's this guy who's going to like take a piss that he sneaks up on, and I was very annoyed that this guy taking a piss is doing it like in the middle of the road. He's not like. At least if I was out in a junkyard and I was gonna like go use the restroom, I would go up against like a tree or like an old something. I wouldn't just be standing in the middle of the road. I found it very strange. What's up, Kyle?
No, I'm sorry, I got mesmerized.
Yeah, you looked very interested in my peeing habits. I didn't know what was going on there. I was like, what is...
I lost myself for a second. I did that thing where I'm not sure how well I looked at you, but I looked through you.
You do that every now and then. You kind of your eyes glaze over and you just go into another dimension. And I'm just like, he'll come back eventually. He'll be back eventually. But Travis is able to escape, and he gets back. He goes back to the doctor's office because that's where he left everybody. And he gets back there, and I thought the doctor was going to have killed himself. Like,
yeah. You honestly thought like. As he left, or as the women left, you were just gonna hear a gunshot.
Yeah, well, because there's a moment where he's like pointing the gun at his head, and he's like, "Don't let me become like."
And then it cuts to black.
And then it fades to black or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, he definitely killed himself." But when he gets back, no, the doctor's still alive. But he's got covered in.
It's spreading.
It's like burns, basically.
Kind of makes sense in a certain way. There's like once your cell structure starts dying, it can release.
It can cause issues.
Yeah, it can release a lot of stuff into your bloodstream.
It seems a little silly. And it's because there's an implication that it like turns you into like a rage monster or something, like I don't know, whatever, which is silly. But he is slowly like being consumed by. Apparently, the solar flare hit only his hand, which seems impressively like specific. Like, how did you only get? Okay, whatever.
Got me on the hand. I thought I'd be all right, but it passed right through my whole body.
But he's like, I took a drug to kill myself, but that didn't work.
That didn't work. It didn't work.
I took a drug to kill myself, but that didn't help either.
And his performance is so good. He's so over the top. I love it so much. Because, Travis is standing in front of him, and he's like, "End it for me, Travis. Shoot me or I'll shoot you."
Do it, Travis. I'm going to kill you.
I can't.
I'm going to count to 3.
No.
And then he starts counting down. And Travis just unloads it to him. It's kind of amazing. But then Travis is very sad about having shot his friend, the doctor. We get a moment of him being upset about it.
Well, that moment's over.
Yeah, that moment's over. And now at this point, I believe the girls have gone back to they've gone back to the locker room at the baseball stands or whatever, and they're like kind of trying to get the third girl, who I don't know if we know any of the names other than Lena. I feel like because she's the most important one.
You got me.
I think maybe Zoe or something. I don't know. Is one of them. But they're trying to get her better. They're like, "How is she doing?" One of them just, I'm pretty sure, says, "How's girl?"
How's girl?
She seems better, but we're almost out of penicillin.
How's girl? And they're like, she's all right. We just got to give her more penicillin or whatever, and then she'll be all right. And then on this, and I had to check this because on the YouTube version that we watched, there's
there's a huge black,
a 3-minute black hole that I was like, is this legit? And I went, so the Tubi version does not have this black hole.
Good.
So I'm thinking that was probably a mistake by the YouTube uploader, but it also wouldn't surprise me if that was in the original cut, like a fuck up like that, and then Tubi was like, well, we're not going to have a 3-minute, like somebody at Tubi.
I kind of wouldn't, like,
for distribution or something.
Maybe ITN,
because ITN distributed.
Because like clearly they wouldn't fuck up like this because they're on film at the time.
Well, yeah, when they I don't know. I wouldn't. I was just thinking it wouldn't surprise me if at some point they had figured out a way to fuck this up to where they just had 3 minutes of black in their movie. I don't know. But anyway, so then meanwhile, Travis is having some flashbacks about all of his friends dying.
Yes, because we got to reuse some. We got to buff
fill
this
time.
out.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to fill time. So he thinks sad thoughts about all of his friends dying. And my note was literally not milking for extra time here at all. That's for sure. And then he gets back to the locker room. And Lena comes out to come chat with him, and he's like sleeping in his Jeep, but she comes out to talk to him, and she's like, they like reminisce about water or something like that. They basically just get back and they're like, he's like, oh, I remember water and swimming.
It was so pure.
Imagine it, being neck deep in fresh water.
Yeah, I used to dive into off the high dive, like whatever. They just reminisce about water.
Water is just like poison now. Like regular water is poison. It needs to be distilled
or something like that. Yeah, it's a water crisis. There's like no good water anywhere anymore. And also
in California.
What?
That's just normal summers.
Yeah, I was like, they weren't too far off on the prediction on that one. But the ADR, I mean, the ADR throughout this film is terrible, but the ADR in this scene is atrocious. It's really bad.
By the time I got brave enough, there was a water shortage and no more water for the pool.
Okay, then it's the next day, and he wants to go to the base and get some supplies or something. He's gonna take the newest girl.
Yeah, because she's still sick or ill or she's not in great condition.
So okay, I couldn't decide, but he decides to leave the other two girls at the locker room for no reason.
Yeah,
99% of his problems in this movie would be solved if he just took the women with him everywhere he went instead of leaving them places for no reason. But he's like, I'll leave you guys here, you'll be safe, and then it immediately cuts to some guys lurking in the stands above them or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, they're gonna get caught.
Chasing.
Yeah. And there's a chase scene on the bleachers, which it's so terrible. They're just like running around, immediately caught. And then there's this great scene so that we watch them get chased forever, and they get caught for a second, but then they're able to get away again and run some more. And there's these shots of the blonde running like underneath the stands, and she's wearing like this cut off crop top. And there's like at least 2 or 3 times where she is grabbing to hold her boobs into the crop top to keep her boobs from flying out. It's kind of hilarious. But then so they get away for a little bit and they're running, but for some reason they go up. What? Go ahead.
Can we do like a strapless sports bra or something? These things are, we're having a lot of issues.
A lot of issues.
It's like, no! No!
That would be his. That would be the thing that Paul got very, very...
You were living in a dystopian future, okay?
We don't have sports bras! We've used them all for tourniquets to staunch blood from terrible wounds. No bras exist anywhere. It's a dystopic future.
It's like George Lucas when he says, "There's no underwear in space."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Holy shit.
That was a
it was loud. I was not expecting that.
That's gonna be fun to mix.
Caught me off guard. But so they get away briefly and they're able to run away, but then for some reason they run back up into the grandstand. It's like that's the worst place. You can't go anywhere from there.
Yeah, once you're at the top, you're like,
and I'm trapped. Suck. Yeah, it's so stupid. So they just get caught again. And meanwhile, when Travis gets back to the DEA headquarters, they're like getting attacked by a whole gang of the bad guys, or like they're like being overrun. So Travis has to bail on that plan. Goes back to the baseball diamond and realizes they're gone. And when he gets there, they're like planning an ambush for him. And I love this. He's like walking down the side of this building, and there's this guy waiting at the edge of the building with a gun. And then Travis looks down, and his toe is just sticking out so he sees him. It's like, oh, well, good job. You guys are great at this.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So he beats up all those guys. And then he's like, okay, they took him to their base. I know where their base is because I was captured there earlier. He drives there, again, stupidly tells what's her name. He's like, stay in the car. It's like, just stop leaving them places, you fucking idiot. But he's got to stealthily sneak in and save the other women. So he goes in, and he's got some great stealth takedowns. He like sneaks up behind a guy and like taps him on the, he's like, woo! And then he like kicks him in the nuts and sticks him in the trunk of a car. It's kind of incredible. And beats up a bunch of people. And then as he's getting ready to get in, the Ultimate Warrior shows up.
Yes. It's
not, but it is.
It's not, but yeah. It's 100% modeled after the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, absolutely.
Face paint, the flowing locks, everything.
Everything. But he gets in this big fight with these two henchmen. One of them's like the Ultimate Warrior. The other one kind of looks like a German, like progressive rock band member or something, like prog rock. I don't know. He's very interesting looking. But he snaps the Ultimate War. He does some terrible neck snaps.
The cut is hilarious because he like goes one way and the next cut is him going all the way around.
And my favorite part is he's fighting the Ultimate Warrior. He like judo throws him over his shoulder, and then the guy just lays there on the ground and lets him snap his neck. It's so stupid. And then he fights, Star Child or whatever. The guy's, he's got like the kiss paint or whatever. I assume it's supposed to be like a solar flare injury.
Pretty much does the same thing with him.
Yeah.
Headlocks and breaks.
Breaks his neck. Great. And then after he beats all those guys up, he just screams at nobody. There's nobody here. And I guess he's unaware of that, but he's like, I'm coming for you. And they're not here. They're at the DEA headquarters. You saw them there. What are you doing?
Okay.
Meanwhile, we cut into the bunker as they're being attacked. Adam West wasted.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He's just they're just coming through the floors and
he's like they're coming. He goes blow the bunker.
People.
You got to blow it, Travis. You got to blow it up.
No, I can't do it. I can't lose any more people, Travis. You got to blow the bunker.
Please kill me.
Well, okay.
Yeah. He's like, all right, fine.
Got it.
He gets some bombs and he's going around planting these bombs. Meanwhile, he told Lena, like, he gave her a rifle and he's like, hey, just shoot people if they try to kill me. And she's apparently like a fucking
crack shot. Yeah, just Annie Oakley up there.
She's just sniping everybody out of nowhere. It's like, all right. I feel like we didn't know that she had that ability earlier, but and then also, as he's planting some bombs, the brunette runs up with a shotgun. And is like blasting fucking people. They at least get to do something. They're not just sitting in the car the whole time. But he's getting all the bombs placed, and then meanwhile, our main bad guy Wraith and all of his goons are like to the final door to get into Adam West's bunker. Yeah,
Adam West.
It's incredible.
So he has a grenade in his hand, right?
Yes.
And he can hear them breaking down the door. So he pulls the pin.
Well, and he turns to the woman is still there, which I didn't realize she was still there.
And he takes the ring of the pin and proposes.
He goes to you. Well, here's the thing. You spoiled the big fucking stupid surprise because he turns to her and goes, do you want to get married? And she's like,
okay.
And I was like, oh my God, Kyle, if he pulls the pin and puts that on her finger, I will lose my shit. And it's exactly what he does. It's kind of amazing. And then they blow themselves up. It was fucking amazing. Yes. I loved it.
And in this incredible explosion, John Scott is running slow-mo, and he jumps just in time.
This is a fun cut. He dives over the camera.
Yes.
And then it cuts from him diving over the camera to him diving into the lake.
Yes.
And
they found some water that's pure enough to.
They made their way up to they said the north, somewhere up north. There's supposedly lakes and whatever that you can swim in. So they made their way up there.
Purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yes, which that is like the only interesting piece of filmmaking in the entire movie is that shot transition at the end there. It's not like it's amazing, but it's at least something. But yeah, he just gets to move to the mountains as part of this impromptu polycule, and I was like, good for you, dude. Kudos. What an ending. They all just jump in the lake and live happily ever after.
Yep. And John Travis gets to start his polygamist cult.
Yep, good for you guys. Well done. I would say this movie's good bad, Kyle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it runs pretty quick.
It's pretty short. It's like an hour 25.
It's short and it runs fast.
Yes, lots of nonsense happening. If they could fix the audio, it would just be a much more enjoyable viewing experience.
Obviously, you just mix it mono, and that should
it'd be super easy. I don't know why somebody hasn't, like a Tubi, or like the distributor or whatever hasn't. Because again, Tubi is like that too, which was really weird. It'd be super easy to just whatever. But they won't. So sure, fine. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's nonsense. It's not like the best. Like, I don't know.
There's other films that have the same thing that
are
do
better. Yes,
better in regard to our style of entertainment.
Are worse and more entertaining. that are doing like the exact same thing. Like, this is nothing like, because Get Even is like the same movie kind of, and Get Even is a much more ridiculous, hilarious
ironically
movie.
you could say this is serviceable for being bad.
Yes, this is a serviceable bad movie, Kyle. Well put. As always, you can do us a giant favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us for a couple bucks a month over there and get access to some stuff. You can also do us a giant favor by buying our merch. Just head to tpublic.com, search for Good Bad or Bad Bad or Quantum Physics, and you can get some of our merch.
All your awesome mugs and t-shirts.
Everything you could ever want. I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, the most recent episode will have been 50 Shades Darker. Where did I put that book? I put that book right somewhere.
Isn't that 50 Shades Free?
No, this one's 50 Shades Darker.
Oh my God.
This book is awful. They're all awful, but holy shit, even the first book is so much better than. Anyways, we have like a 3-hour discussion of going through all the ways that this book is terrible. It's actually one of the funniest things ever, and of slight spoilers for those episodes. The books are so bad that the movies are like amazing in comparison.
That's great.
They're still not good.
Is this bad enough to where you could have a drinking game? Like, read it until you laugh and then drink.
Oh yeah, you would not. You would die. every other page. Yeah. But it's wild. Really interesting discussions talking about just how terrible these fucking books are and how interesting the movies are in comparison. But anyways, go check that out. You can also check us out on twitch.tv/the things on the screen. Look out for that. Every now and then we will stream there.
I've done a few more streams since.
Yeah, so there you go. That's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, keep watching movies. Yeah.
Omega Cop.
Watch it. It's on Tubi. It's on...
Hey, it's free.
It's free.
That's the best you can say for it.
That's free. See ya.